So we have y equals x squared plus 2x minus 2. And we're supposed to draw the graph on this grid. Normally in an exam, when you get this kind of question, you just create your own x coordinates. From the graph, we have -3 to 2. So I have to create my own x coordinate from -3 to 2. And because I'm not going to use calculator, I'm going to try to have a row for each of the terms. So I have 3 terms to make y, x squared plus 2x and minus 2. So each of the terms will have a row. That's what I've just done. And I'll just calculate each of the rows and just sum them up vertically to give me my y. So the first I need to do is to find the row x squared. What would that be? I need to square each of the x's. And negative times negative is positive. So on the x squared row, all should be positive numbers. So just square each of the numbers. So these are my square numbers. The row for 2x, you have to multiply 2 by each of the x values. Remember, negative and positive when you multiply is negative, so you got to be mindful of that. Times each of these numbers by 2 for the 2x row. The -2 is a constant, so doesn't change with x, so it's going to repeat -2 throughout. Now once you've done that, because y is made up of x squared, 2x, and minus 2, I'm going to do what we call vertical summation. I'm just going to add them up, and that'll give me y. You got to be mindful of your negative numbers. So this column, when you add, you're going to have 1, -2, -3, -2, -1, and 6. And then from there, you just plot them as coordinates. In plotting the coordinate, you only concentrate on the x and the y coordinate. The middle bits are working out. It's only the x and y coordinate you plot. So let's plot -3 and 1 on the grid done, -2, -2, and so on. At the end, join with a smooth curve. So this is a quadratic graph. Sometimes you may be asked to find out the minimum turning point. As you can see, this is the minimum turning point. So if they want you to find the minimum turning point, you just have to state the coordinate of that point. And that will be -3, -1, -3. The minimum turning point of this graph is -1, -3. So this is how you create your own table for quadratic graph when you are now allowed to use calculator. -2 is the intercept. So we check and see if the graph cut the y-axis as -2. That's the y-axis, -2. Correct. Second check, the coefficient of x squared is +1. So it should be a U-shaped, also U-shaped. So that's something that you must always check to verify your answer.